Very good morning to our listeners. Hope you all had a fantastic weekend. A quick review of some of the key events coming up this week, starting off with the ECB and the second of the targeted long-term refinancing operations from them, the TLTRO being released this Thursday, the 11th of December. Now, median expectations there are for a size of around 150 billion euros, which would be quite a bit higher than we saw in September of 82 billion, largely owing to the fact now that those European stress tests are now out of the way. However, there's quite a wide range of views amongst some of the bigger investment banks, ranging from around 105 to the low end to 200, possibly at the top end. Any number, though, towards the lower side of expectations, i.e. sub 150, could well prompt further expectations of more imminent QE coming from the ECB, given the most recent press conference as well from Draggy, where expectations are now currently around the Jan to March period of when we could see such a programme. Again, any low number then could well boost those expectations of the ECB looking for further ways in order to stimulate the Eurozone economy, which we've heard from various members does face downside risks, having seen them cut their both inflation and growth forecast last week. In terms of other things to look out for from China, we've already seen overnight the release of the trade balance numbers, which although showed a record surplus on the headline, reading much higher than expectations, both the exports and imports numbers were both weaker than expected. Particular focus on the import number, which was negative against the expectations of a positive reading. That has weighed on the Australian dollar in overnight trade, given the fact that Australia relies on roughly a third of its goods and export services coming from demand out of China. A couple of other key data points are forthcoming as well this week. We do have CPI, industrial production, and also retail sales coming out at the end of the week from China. We'll keep focused firmly on that economy, where source comments just this morning have again suggested the potential that the bank, that's the Central Bank of China, the PBOC, could well be pushing potentially for a cut to the reserve requirement ratio, with the RRR currently standing at 20%. And then finally, elsewhere in central bank news, we'll also look out for the Swiss National Bank. They have their interest rate decision. However, most analysts not expecting too many great shakes from the SNB, given that the gold referendum passed most recently without any real hiccups. So looking for a hold in their rate decision and a continued reiteration of defence of the 120 floor in Euro Swiss. That pretty much concludes some of the main highlights for this week. So I wish you all good luck and thanks for listening.